Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Horror Trans. I am Stephanie Bree. I am your host. I am a transgender woman who talks about all things horror. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. I just got done watching Halloween Ends. I watched the entire Halloween saga, so they're all fresh in my mind. And today we're talking about Halloween 2, the original 1981 Halloween 2, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance. And that's where we are. So, if you watched my first Halloween video, you know that I'm not a fan of Michael Myers. And I've already specified that I didn't like the first Halloween movie. So, going into Halloween 2, I already had expectations of not liking it. And those expectations were not necessarily met. But we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, and then I'll talk about what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll give my recommendation. So, recap. At the end of the first movie, Dr. Loomis shows up and shoots Michael Myers a whole bunch of times. Between 5 to 7, I've heard different counts, watching different reviews and videos and kill counts and things like that. So we'll just say he shoots him a whole bunch of times. He falls off the balcony, he lands on the grass, gets up, walks away. They go down, they go looking for him. The police show up, they take Laurie to the hospital, and Michael is wandering around town looking for Laurie Strode for some ungodly reason. And the police are looking for Michael, and Dr. Loomis is with the police, and there's a little exposition, there's a little bit of backstory. We find out Laurie Strode is actually Michael's sister, who was adopted, and then Michael ends up making his way to the hospital, and terror ensues, and there we go. Now, I didn't talk about the kills in the first movie because it took 60 minutes of a 90-minute movie to get to the kills, and there was one good kill in that movie. So I didn't talk about it in that movie, and the reason I didn't talk about it is because it's Michael's signature kill. He basically holds somebody against the wall, takes a knife, and stabs them into the wall. He doesn't do it every single movie, but he does it enough times that it is his signature move, and so that's why I didn't talk about it in the first movie, because he does it again in this movie, and he does it again, and he does it again, and he does it again, and I just got sick of it. So it's quote-unquote iconic, I guess, but it's fucking lame, and it didn't impress me, and I got sick of seeing it. It was boring. It was too boring. So then Michael gets to the hospital. Now, there are a lot of kills in this movie, but half of them are off camera. He kills people, and we see their dead bodies, but we don't see how they die, we don't see them die. Pretty lame. But there's one really standout kill, where he takes a nurse and shoves her head into the boiling hot water and rips her face melts off. That's the iconic kill in this movie. When I watch a slasher movie, I'm looking for kills. I don't give a fuck about the plot, I don't give a shit about the characters, I'm not interested in the story. Just give me good kills. And my problem with the vast majority of these Halloween movies, not every single one, but most of them, it takes a good 40 to 60 minutes before we get to the kills, and you get like 3 or 4 kills if you're lucky. So they're a disappointment in terms of the kills most of the time. However, Halloween 2 is not a disappointment. Now, Laurie Strode ends up tricking Michael, escaping Michael, and then getting into the hospital with the cops and Dr. Loomis. Michael kills the cop, and then Dr. Loomis and Laurie lure Michael into a room where they blow him up and blow up the hospital, and presumably Michael's dead, and Dr. Loomis is dead, and Laurie gets to go live her life. I say presumably because, that was the intention of the filmmakers, but then they made more sequels, and they just kind of sort of retconned that. So that's the first retcon, but we're going to put that aside. The first retcon was making Laurie Strode his sister, because that was not the original intention of John Carpenter. He corrects that in Halloween 2018, but we'll get to that when we talk about it, because I've got a lot to say about Halloween 2018. I actually liked this one better than the first one. So I did enjoy this one. It had good kills, it had better pacing. It wasn't so much Michael walking around stalking people as it was him actively hunting Laurie Strode to kill her. So it was a little bit better, it was more interesting. And now we have a motivation, we have a reason why he's after Laurie. Which itself punches a hole in the first movie. If he was after Laurie in the first movie, why did he go across the street and kill those teenagers? Why didn't he just go to Laurie's house? That wasn't the intention of the original filmmaker, but now we have plot holes that are created by the sequel, retconning the first movie, which is, again, one of the franchise's many, many problems. That being said, I'm going to give Halloween 2 a bye, just because it is a worthy sequel to Halloween 1. It is a good time. It's a better movie than Halloween 1, in my opinion. It's more enjoyable. It's better made. It's well paced. It isn't as slog. It isn't as boring. It kind of gets to the point, and I like that.